Hello modeling fans, this is Christian Milan here with the newest creation from Gold Rush Bay. It's the livery barn stables made in HO scale, made of wood filaments. Now this is going to be the most detailed, fully assembled wooden structure you'll see on the market for modelers. It's completely assembled like I said, and as you could see I applied a lot of texture to the structure where you could see each individual wood beam, vertical and horizontal, and this nicely peaked roof here at the top. Now this is in the tradition of the old 1800s barns, where the purpose of the barns were actually storing threshing wheat and hay, and occasionally for livestock as well. After about late 1800s, they started to use these mostly for tractors and other farming equipment. But I wanted to do justice to kind of the old style western barns to kind of give you that feel of that history of Americana. Now when it did turn into a livery or stables, they wanted a lot of light, so I increased the use of these windows here where the light can kind of peek through, and these doors are actually hinged so you can actually open them, and they're actually open up on both sides. And you could see how I wanted to accentuate the pillars on the edges here, because if you recall, these barns were made out of timber construction from trees that are actually found on the sites. They would have their local sawmill and they would cut these beams and these wood structures out by hand, and of course the townspeople would come together and kind of build it. And I did some homage to the high roofs and the attic space where they kind of had a lot of storage, so you could see that here. So I wanted to make it high, and of course this is HO scale, so a lot of the details here that you'll see will suit a lot of the HO scale animals like horses and whatnot. And so you'll see buckets of apples here and a trough for water that you can have the animals eat at or drink at. And these buildings, like all my other buildings, are actually textured, so there is some grit to it. So you can paint it with any acrylic paint or modeling paint and it comes out really nicely. Generally wood is a little bit more porous, so I recommend having like a spray on hand to kind of give it a nice coat before you paint it. But overall, if you wanted to just go ahead and paint it with acrylic paint, it'll do just fine. Now, I will suggest, leaving it unfinished, just in its natural wood form, because back then they were all made of timber and wood, like I said. This is going to be a beech or a lighter wood color, so when you get it, you'll kind of see that the light color allows for it to kind of go with your model layout as is, or you can paint it and it'll look just fine. Now, like all my other models, I do go that extra length and make it extra detailed. So what I did here is I actually created an interior that could slide into the building. I'm not going to slide it in right now, but this, as you can see, this timber frame construction, it'll come with your building, and you can see here that the wood frame, as it shows, is very, very detailed. Now, one thing about wood filament, it does have that little stringy effect, and there's not so much I could do about that. It's very easy to clean up afterwards after you receive it, but that is one of the side effects of the wood printing process. But this, again, will come fully assembled, and even if you wanted to use that as its own structure on its own in the landscape like that, that could be kind of your barn under construction structure, and that would work just fine. So this is almost a two structures in one if you wanted to use it that way, but it does fit over the top very easily, and once you get it fit in there, then you could kind of use it as is. You could paint the inside if you want, or you could kind of leave it unfinished. But I'm very proud of this structure. It took me quite a long time actually to design, because there are certain elements like this clerestory roof and all these windows up here, and these rafters were extremely detailed, and I wanted to make sure that structurally it all could fit together and you wouldn't have to glue a stick of wood to it. It's all come completely assembled from goldrushbay.com. Well, I hope you liked it. Enjoy the model if you do get it. And if you have any comments or questions, or if you want some other structure built that I haven't offered in my catalog, please let me know. I can go ahead and whip that up and make a design for that as well, for your layout. Have a great day.